What is up everybody, and how are you doing today? Well, without wasting much time, let me get right into the topic, which is most misunderstood by non-golfers and still a mystery to a lot of golfers. Well, let's talk about what is a golf handicap. In this video, I have only given an overview of a basic understanding of a golf handicap. For a bit more detailed explanation, do visit my blog, the link to which is mentioned in the description. So, what is a golf handicap? A handicap is nothing but the numerical representation of a golfer's playing potential. This allows golfers of varying proficiency level to compete with each other. Confused? Well, it basically is a way to level the playing field. To explain it better, let me give you an example. Imagine a 100-meter race between a 15-year-old teenager and a 5-year-old child. Who do you think would win? Of course, the 15-year-old. But wouldn't you say that the race itself was unfair? Now let's have the same race once again. This time, we'll give the 5-year-old a head start, and once he is about 40 meters away from the finish line, we'll let the 15-year-old take off. Would this give the 5-year-old a fighting chance to win the race? Would that balance the scale a bit? Well, that's exactly what a handicap does. It gives the lesser proficient golfer a fighting chance to win a golf tournament. Just consider the following. I am using this example as an oversimplified way to help understand a handicap. Let's consider our two golfers, Tim and John. They both play at the same golf course. Tim, however, has been playing there for the last 10 years every week, while John just took up golf 2 years ago and plays once a month. It's a par 72 golf course. Let's take the average of the 20 most recent scores of each player. Tim averages 75 while John averages 100. We can also interpret this as Tim takes 3 strokes over the course par, 72 in this case, and John takes 28 strokes over par. Thus we could say that Tim has a potential to play 3 over, that is, his handicap is 3, while John's handicap is 28. Now what if Tim and John were one day to meet and decide to play a game of golf and maybe have a friendly wager? It is but obvious that Tim would win the round hands down. It would not incentivize John to go up against Tim. But what if we told John that if he is able to play just 1 stroke better than his handicap, and if Tim plays his handicap or worse, John would win the game? So after the round, their gross scores are 75 and 99, and subtracting their individual handicaps, the net score comes to as Tim with 72 while John as 71, and thus John wins. As I mentioned, this is an oversimplified version to just understand how a handicap works. Let's now get technical, but before that, please do subscribe, as your one click can support this channel in the long run. Please also do like and share this video amongst your family and friends. So coming back to the handicap system, I will explain it basis the new World Handicap System, which has been effective from 1st Jan 2020 and is now considered the official way to calculate a golf handicap globally. You would first need to know 3 basic terms. Handicap index. It is your personal handicap, which is calculated by averaging the 8 best rounds from the 20 most recent rounds that you played. The best rounds are determined by what is called a handicap differential, which is basically your score minus the par of the course. This is rounded off up to 1 decimal place. Course rating. This term indicates the difficulty of a course for a 0 handicap golfer, also known as a scratch golfer. For example, on a par 72 course, the scratch golfer consistently scores an average of 70.3. Then 70.3 would be considered the course rating. The higher the score, the more difficult the course. Slope rating. This term indicates the difficulty of a course for a golfer who has an handicap of 18, also known as a bogey golfer. It has been observed that even on a difficult course, the scratch golfer scores close to par. However, higher the course difficulty, the bogey golfer struggles even more. Due to this, the slope rating was introduced. A standard course would have a slope rating of 113. For a more detailed explanation on these terms, do check out my blog. The link is given in the description. The course rating and slope rating for a particular course will mostly always be mentioned on the scorecard. If not, you can always request for the same from the golf course manager. So once you have these three details, it's time to get your course handicap. This is needed since, as every golfer would tell you, no two courses are alike. Even if the course rating for two golf courses would be the same, their slope ratings would differ. Due to this, it is necessary to calculate the course handicap basis the formula on your screen, which is the currently accepted formula globally. This course handicap can then allow players of different proficiency levels to compete with each other. I will cover some more handicapping systems in a few minutes. But why did the world of golf move to a new handicapping system? Golf globally has a single set of rules for playing the game and also a single set of rules regarding equipment. But when it comes to handicap calculation, there were 6 different associations that differed in the calculation process. This made it difficult for players to use their handicap on a different continent or country or course. Golf being a global sport, it was about time that the handicap calculations too had a single set of rules. That's when these 6 associations agreed to come together and formalize the World Handicap System. Let me highlight a few points of the new system over the old one. First, of course, the system of calculation itself, from 6 different systems to one universally accepted system. Next is the handicap portability, where in the old system the handicaps would differ due to slight variations in their calculation and thus making it frustrating for the golfers. However, the new system being standardized, the handicap calculation process is the same all over the world. Then, another big change is the revision of handicaps from fortnightly to daily. This will ensure handicaps are more up to date. Another big change is the introduction of taking into account the effects of weather on play on a given day. The earlier system did not consider this, and hence the variance could impact the handicap adversely, while the new system adjusts the handicap accordingly. Then, the max score per hole to be recorded for handicap purpose in the old system was depending on the player's course handicap, and equitable stroke control limit was set, while in the new system, a net double bogey system is used. I'll explain the new net double bogey system in a few seconds. As the new handicap system will be more effective since it will revise the handicap index daily, it is best to update the scores immediately after every round. So to explain how the net double bogey system works and how a handicap is actually used in a round of golf, please check out the following example. Bill and Roger have a handicap of 18 and 8 respectively, which means Bill would get 1 additional stroke at each hole and Roger gets an additional stroke at the 8 most difficult holes. The stroke index ranks the holes from the hardest to the easiest. Lower the number, relatively harder the hole. Thus, at hole 1, which is a par 3, a double bogey would be a 5. Hence, a net double bogey for Roger would be a 5, but for Bill, it would be a 6, as he has been given 1 additional stroke. Similarly, at hole 3, which is a par 5, a double bogey would be 7. A net double bogey for Bill and Roger both would be an 8, as both receive a stroke since the hole is an index 1. Handicap strokes are given starting from the hardest hole to the easiest, and when a golfer's handicap exceeds 18, then the process is repeated again. So a golfer with handicap 20 will get 2 additional strokes on holes with stroke index 1 and 2. It must be noted that in professional tour events like the PGA and European Tour and the likes, handicaps don't come in play, as these players are scratch golfers or even better. At local events like those organized by the local golf associations or corporate and charity events, all the participants may not possess official handicaps. For such cases, same-day handicapping systems are used. We look at the 2 most popular ones, the first being the System 36. System 36 assigns a point value to the score at each hole. The total is then subtracted from 36, and this becomes the handicap for the round just completed. If a golfer has scored a total of 83 and he has had 1 birdie, 7 pars, 8 bogeys and 2 double bogeys, so under System 36 point value, he would have a total of 24. This value of 24 subtracted from 36 gives 12, which would be the handicap for the day. So his net score would be 83 minus 12, that is 71. The second popular same-day handicap system is the Peoria System. In the Peoria System, the event organizers secretly select 6 holes, usually 2 par 3s, 2 par 4s and 2 par 5s, mostly one each from the front 9 and the back 9 holes. These holes can also be selected completely randomly. The golfers play as per the stroke play format, with the score capped at a double par on each hole. That is, a max score on a par 4 can be 8. On completion of play, the 6 Peoria holes are disclosed and each golfer totals their score on these holes, then multiplies it by 3. That total is then subtracted from the course par and the result is multiplied by 80%. The resulting number is the golfer's handicap for the day. This handicap is then subtracted from the golfer's original gross score to get his net score. I'm sure that went over your head, so let's follow this example. Once the 6 holes are disclosed at the end of play, the golfer totals his score at these 6 holes, which comes to 32. This is then multiplied by 3 to give 96. 96 is then subtracted from the course par, that is 72, which gives 24. 80% of 24 rounded off is 19, which is the same day handicap for this player. So if the player's gross score was 94, his net score will be 94 minus 19, that is 75. Well, you really don't have to worry about the math, as most of the times it's the tournament organizers that will calculate this for you. So I hope you have now understood what is a golf handicap and how it helps. And for the non-golfers, if you are still watching, I hope you have now understood that a handicap has got nothing to do with some sort of physical shortcoming. So if you learned something out of this video, please do give it a like. Go ahead and share it with your friends. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I will see you again in my next video. Until then, take care and stay safe.